In the shadows of success, there's always a price. For Wrexham AFC, that price has just been paid. Not by Hollywood, but by the people of Wales. £18 million, non-repayable. And the football world is asking one question: why? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, we tell the stories that matter. The dark, the dramatic, the real. And today's story? It's about money, ambition, and a Welsh club caught between glory and controversy. Wrexham AFC. Owned by Hollywood royalty, backed by a global fan base, rising through the leagues like a phoenix. But now, they've received almost £18 million from the Welsh government. Money that will never be paid back. And not everyone is happy about it. So, buckle up. This one's going to get emotional. According to The Guardian, Wrexham have received almost £18 million in non-repayable grants from the Welsh Government, channeled through the local borough council. The funds are part of a larger £25 million government grant aimed at redeveloping the area around the train station, located right next door to the club's historic home, the racecourse ground. Let that sink in. £18 million. No strings attached. No repayment plan. Just given. Since Reynolds and McElhenney took over the club in 2021, Wrexham have climbed from the National League all the way to the Championship. Their story has been nothing short of extraordinary, a Hollywood fairy tale written in sweat, goals, and documentary cameras. But this is where the fairy tale meets reality. And reality is messy. The news has sparked immediate backlash. Football finance expert Stefan Borson has publicly questioned why the club needs the cash injection. After all, Reynolds and McElhenney are wealthy men. Their commercial success has been staggering. So why does Wrexham need government money? To understand this story, you have to understand what Wrexham was and what it's become. Before Reynolds and McElhenney arrived, this was a club on life support, a city struggling, a community fading. But the Hollywood duo didn't just buy a football club, they bought a vision. And that vision has transformed everything. Tourism revenue in Wrexham? It rose from £49 million in 2020 to £180 million last year. Read that again. £49 million to £180 million. That's not just a boost, that's a resurrection. The documentary series, the global attention, the sold-out matches, the merchandise flying off shelves. Wrexham became more than a club, it became a brand. And brands bring money. Lots of it. But here's the thing. While Reynolds and McElhenney's wealth has undoubtedly helped the club, the article makes it clear that their commercial acumen has played a more influential role in the rise through the leagues. They didn't just throw money at the problem, they marketed their way out of it. So when critics like Stefan Borson ask, why do they need government money, it's a fair question. On the surface, it looks like a wealthy club taking public funds. But look deeper and the picture changes. Because this isn't just about Wrexham AFC. This is about Wrexham, the city. The racecourse ground is the oldest international football stadium in the world. It hosted Wales's first ever match in 1877. Let that history wash over you. This isn't just a stadium, it's a cultural and heritage asset. A piece of Welsh identity carved into the earth. But time has not been kind. The stadium needs work. The surrounding infrastructure needs work. And that's where the £18 million comes in. According to the article, the grants are intended to deliver benefits to the local region. Stadium redevelopment, improved infrastructure, the ability to host international matches again, more local jobs, economic boosts from increased visitor numbers. And there's more. The racecourse ground has been put forward as part of the United Kingdom's bid to host the 2035 Women's World Cup. But to meet UEFA's requirements, improvements are needed. Significant improvements. And those improvements cost money. Money that a League One club, no matter how commercially savvy, might not have lying around. So here's the real question. Is this about Wrexham AFC, or is it about Wales? The backlash was swift. Stefan Borson, a respected football finance expert, questioned the need for the cash injection. And he's not alone. The article itself raises the question, are critics playing politics, or are they merely pontificating for clicks? It's a valid point, because depending on how you look at this, it's either a scandal or a masterstroke. On one hand, a club owned by millionaires receives nearly £20 million in public funds. Optics? Terrible. On the other hand, a government invests in a historic stadium and surrounding infrastructure, generating hundreds of millions in tourism revenue, creating jobs, and positioning the region for international recognition. Optics? Brilliant. The article does not mention specific fan reactions, no official club statement is referenced, no quotes from local residents. So we're left to interpret the silence. And in that silence, the tension grows. Because this is bigger than football. This is about investment, about culture, about whether a government should fund a project that happens to benefit a football club, or whether that's crossing a line. And the truth is, it's probably somewhere in the middle.
Let's be clear, the government investment is justified, not because Wrexham AFC needs it, but because Wrexham, the city, needs it. The stadium redevelopment and surrounding infrastructure will allow the racecourse ground to host international matches again. It could host matches at the 2035 Women's World Cup. That means global exposure, economic growth, jobs, pride. Tourism revenue has already quadrupled since Reynolds and McElhenney arrived. Imagine what it could become with a world-class stadium and the eyes of the world on Wrexham. This isn't a handout to Hollywood. This is an investment in Wales, in history, in a community that deserves better than the slow death it was facing before 2021. But the optics matter. And right now, the optics are murky. Critics will always find reasons to complain, and sometimes they're right to question. Transparency matters. Accountability matters. The article doesn't provide all the answers, but it gives us enough to understand this. Wrexham AFC is at the centre of something much larger than football. And whether you see this as a fairy tale or a cautionary tale depends on where you're standing.
£18 million, non-repayable. Some will call it a gift, others will call it an investment. And maybe, just maybe, it's both. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about Ryan Reynolds or Rob McElhenney. It's about a city that was dying and is now thriving. It's about a stadium that's older than most countries and deserves to stand proud. It's about a community that finally has something to believe in again. Is it perfect? No. Is it complicated? Absolutely. But sometimes the best stories are the messy ones. The ones that make you think. The ones that challenge you to look beyond the headlines and see the people behind them. Wrexham is writing history. And whether you love them or hate them, you can't look away. So what do you think? Is this government grant a smart investment in Welsh culture and economy, or a controversial handout to a wealthy club? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far, you're part of the story now. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video, because Wrexham's story is one everyone needs to hear. Thanks for watching, and remember, in football, the truth is always darker than it seems.